Joining us now is top New York City boxing trainer and the owner of Southbox Boxing Gym in the Bronx, Eric Kelly. Eric, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great, man. Thank you guys for having me back to this time.
So tell me, I know you're getting ready to open the new gym, but I wanted to kind of go back a couple months about when you had to shut the other gym down for COVID-19. You had
Yeah.
gone. You were the first one to kind of make viral videos about doing mitts and spraying yourself with Lysol. And while
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you weren't far off on all that. I kind of wanted to get your opinions on what it was like closing your gym at first, and then we're going to kind of talk about moving forward.
Yeah, well, I've always been an innovator. So, like, as soon as I got wind, I got wind of this stuff months ago, a couple months ago. You know what I'm saying? That's when it was brewing in China pretty bad, and I noticed things start to change. I pay attention to the news. I don't even watch television, but I watch news and I watch boxing. That's it. And I just kept my ear to the streets and what was going on with COVID-19. And I kind of knew beforehand that we was gonna have to close these gyms down at the rate that it was going because like boxing gyms are a hotbed for plagues such as COVID-19. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of body fluid, sweats, and everything being exchanged with training, and even training partners that's going on in the gym. So 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 when that happened, when I was so distraught. I had a hard time even breaking it to my clients. I didn't like, damn, like, fuck. How do I tell them we gotta close? You know what I'm saying? And after I tell them we gotta close, are they gonna come back? Because I'm the first to tell them. I'm the first to say, yo, this thing is going on. We gotta close the gym now. I'm the first to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, a piece of me is thinking like, wow, if I tell my clients we gotta close because of this, who's gonna come back? You know what I'm saying? They might go to John's or they may go to another gym in the Bronx or wherever in New York. You know what I'm saying? But then Cuomo like, yo, every gym gotta close. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Not thank you, but thank you. I'm not the only one. You understand what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to be a pussy about it. But at the same time, I didn't want to be ignorant about it and end up being the reason why a lot of people were affected. So I'm glad that we jump on that. We jumped on that fast. I've always been an innovator. You know how it goes.
So did you shut down the old gym, or is it when the gym's going to reopen, hopefully next month? Are you going to be in the old gym or the new gym?
I'm gonna be in the new gym. I'm gonna be in the new Southbox, the old gym. It was just a tryout. It was just a test, to see how it did. You know what I'm saying? Our plan was never to stay at the old gym. That was never our plan. Actually, we're gonna tear that building is gonna come down. That entire building is gonna come down. So the old gym was just a test.
Well,
The
well,
original Southbox gym was just a test to see could we draw the attention? Could we get the people to come? Will we get the fanfare from the community, the boxing community, and the community in the South Bronx?
well, you definitely did. But my question is now, when the new gym opens up, what kind of safety protocols are you planning to have at the new gym that obviously weren't in place in the old gym because nobody cared about that stuff a couple months ago?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, COVID-19 wasn't a thing. So now in the new gym, the safety protocols, like I'm wondering, like I'm having a hard time with it too. 'Cause I'm wondering if well, we have to let a certain amount of people in at a time. You understand? There's like you got to keep 6 feet distance. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be pretty. That's gonna be pretty easy to do. But when it gets to like 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., when the gyms start to pack up with everybody coming from school and work, that's going to be a hard part. Because in the day, like 9, 10, 11, all the way up to 3 o'clock, it's just a few people in the gym. You know what I'm saying? You got social distancing is 20 feet then. But
But
when
in
you got
packed times, in packed times when these gyms are just
yeah,
people on top of each other,
that's
you're not going to be able to let everyone in there. It might be half
it's
occupancy.
kind of, yeah. You gotta do have occupancy, and you gotta make sure that people are like I'm gonna have people steady going around sanitizing, wiping stuff down. People gonna be spraying. We're gonna be spraying. I don't know if it's gonna be Lysol or what. We ain't gonna do. We're not gonna ingest the Lysol. We're not gonna put the Lysol on your mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna happen. But we got to find a way around it, and we will find that way. If we're gonna jump on it, we're gonna jump on it. And we got a bigger facility right now. You know what I'm saying? So
The
we're gonna
facility's
be able to
beautiful.
do a lot more. Yeah, thank you.
But let me ask you. So it's like I've trained at your gym before, and I say that, and I apologize to everyone else at the gym that I was there. But when I would walk, if I walk back in the gym now, would you check my temperature? Would you want me to clean my gear? Like, is there going to be new safety protocols that you?
If you walked in the gym now, I may have a thermometer. I may have a thermometer, and obviously not one that goes in your mouth, but I'll have a thermometer.
On the forehead.
Yep, that's it. Right on the forehead and see what's going on. And also another thing that we're thinking about doing is, like you said, like we might have to just have X amount of people in at one time. It's not just whoever come when they can. Now it might be probably like a 10-person max per time.
But I mean, one of the things that's is really cool at your gym, you may have a difficult time at least starting up again at first, was the sparring.
Excuse me?
Sparring. How does sparring come back?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we might have to put a little hold on sparring for a while. We might have to put a little hold on sparring for a while. You know what I'm saying? And that's not because right now there's no boxing going on. There's no boxing going on. So what are you sparring for? You don't got a fight coming up. There's no boxing going on. No USA boxing, no professional boxing, no ring masters, none of that. You understand? So what are you sparring for? Like when you spar, I mean, don't get me wrong. You want to get better. You want to get used to being in the combat. But it's real important when you got a fight coming up. If you don't got no fight coming up, what are you sparring for? Trust me when I tell you. You can sit down and you can work on your pads. You can work on your jab. You can work on bending your knees. You can work on your chin down, head up, bring your hand back to your face after you punch. You can work on working the body. You know what I'm saying? You can do different kind of defense drills. Now the trainer's challenged. You understand what I'm saying? Now the trainer's challenged even more. How is he going to get this fighter prepared and take away something as essential as boxing? I mean, it's sparring. And sparring is extremely essential. You know what I'm saying? So now we got to do more groundwork. Now we got to do more floor work. Now we got to work on more accuracy. We got to do more defense drills. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be a good thing. It's gonna be a good thing. Work on foot movement drills. One thing that's been lacking in boxing in the past years is the jab. Work on your jab. Work on mastering that jab again. Learn different ways to work that jab. You know what I'm saying? The groundwork is where you get ready for the ring. And a lot of these guys these days need to increase that groundwork. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's going to be like a gift and a curse because it forces you to go back to square one. You know what I'm saying? It forces you to go back to square one before you was allowed to go in the ring. Before your coach put you in the ring, he had to teach you some of the basics. So now we're going to go back and refine those basics. And eventually, back to the ring. Once COVID-19 is done with it, it's done.
But I mean, the same thing would also have to be going on with mitts. I mean, maybe doing mitts with someone that you know, but I mean, you're not going to want to do mitts with someone off the street.
Listen. The mitts is some new shit. We wasn't doing no mitts. That's new shit. That's for all the white collar boxers. Everybody want to do mitts now. Even the professional boxers and the amateur boxers today. These young professional boxers and everything, they came up boxing in the white collar generation. They didn't come up boxing back in the day when mitts wasn't even a big thing. Sometimes you got mitts. If you got mitts twice a week, that was a lot. Mitts wasn't a thing. You worked on your technique. You worked on your skills. That's what you worked on. You worked on your movement. You worked on doing the feints. You worked on jabbing. You worked on side to side with your head movement. Chin down, head up. You worked on operating off the ball of your feet, not being flat-footed. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did prior to Mitts. Mitts was just some extra. A motherfucker used mitts on fight day or a couple days before the fight when he's not trying to work too hard, but he's trying to get a little sweat going. So working mitts, or when you at the fight and you backstage and it's like 2 bouts before your bout and you do some little bit work on the mitts to get warmed up. That's what the mitts is for. 2020, the mitts is essential. We're doing no fucking mitts.
2020, that's what everyone's doing.
Huh?
Until 2020, that's what half the people in the boxing gyms are doing are the mitts.
Yeah, that's not half, 90. 90. Not half of the 90. Mitts. We're going to call it like we said. Talk to the old heads. Talk to the old heads, the trainers of yesterday. I'm only 39 years old. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm the young old head. Because I've been in this motherfucker since 89. I've been in this motherfucker since 89. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And my trainer was George Washington. And George Washington, you know who he is. You know what he did. You understand what I'm saying? I grew up in the gym with the old heads. I'm the young old head. You understand what I'm saying? So their foundation, they the one that gave me my foundation. Their tutelage, their teaching, the things they did, that's my foundation. And my father was with me every step of the way. My father, 84, 85 years old. You understand what I'm saying? So I came up old school with this.
So you're saying
he wasn't using no man.
So you're saying is that this COVID-19 is pretty much going to force boxing to go back to its roots, training-wise?
It's going to go. Yes, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse. Because if there's a will, there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way. If you have a will to get better without getting in that ring and sparring because you can't do that, then you got to find a way. You got to find a way to fight to make up for the lack. And really, it's not a lack. It's not a lack. It's a pro. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to force you to go back to the roots, to the real nitty gritty. You understand what I'm saying? People just started. I had clients. I had a client back in the day. He's like, "Yo, I want to do the mitts like Floyd." I said, "You get the fuck out my face! I'll knock you the fuck out."
Nobody can do them like Floyd.
No, but they asked me, like, they wanted me to hold the mitts like Roger Mayweather, do all the things. I'm like, is you stupid? Is you stupid? Don't never ask me that. I'm not gonna jack nobody else's brand. I'm my brand. What I look like jacking? How I make myself look by jacking somebody else's brand? How that make me look?
Makes you look like you're stealing someone else's.
You were the wrong motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying what they do work for them. What Floyd them do work for them. That's them. And Floyd don't trust me. Floyd know how to hit the mitts. Roger, rest in peace, Roger. He know how to work the mitts. Trust me. Trust me. He's a genius at this boxing. Trust me. Rest in peace, Roger. You know what I'm saying? Same with Floyd Sr. Same with Jeff Mayweather. They know what that other stuff did. That was just for the camera. That's just for the camera. That's just gonna have some fun for the camera. Now the whole world is doing it. Now everybody's doing it. But now let's see how. But now this COVID-19 comes through. Now we're gonna see how original they are and what they can come up with. Because you can't do that no more. Now what's next?
Well, let's kind of.
Are they gonna shut the gym down?
Well, I kind of want to bring it back to the gym business. The last couple of years, New York City in the boxing realm has seen a bit of a resurgence where a lot of the trainers are making really good money doing, as you referred to them, as white collar fighters and training, people who really aren't boxers but want to train boxing. Do you think
yes, sir,
when this is over that the trainers are going to be, it's going to be as good as it was, or is this going to be like a big step back? I mean, how do you see this going for some of our friends?
It's for you mean for some of our fighters?
No, so for some of our friends, I don't want to use any names, but that are trainers in New York
Yeah,
City that have good
yeah, yeah.
clientels.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little bit of a step back. It's gonna be a little bit of a step back, and I tell you why. Because people aren't gonna be so gung ho to get back in the gym. A lot of people aren't. Don't get me wrong, some are, but that white collar clientele where you make the bulk of your money from, that kept you afloat, that kept you able to survive and pay your bills, they're from a whole nother world. When they see danger, they retreat. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them, but I'm gonna say a good 60% of them are gonna retreat. They say, "Damn, we can't do this. We got." But they just like I had one client. I had to beg him. And COVID-19 was out, but it was like probably the second, third day that COVID-19 was out, and I had to beg him, like, "Yo, come on, we just gonna go to Mendez, and we're gonna go downstairs, and we're just gonna do fluid training, and that's it. It's early in the day. It's only 11 o'clock. Ain't nobody gonna be in there." Like, it was like pulling alligator teeth to get him to do it. But long story short, he did it, and we left, and then everybody's safe right now. He's quarantining in Long Island. He lives right there in Manhattan, but he's quarantining right now. He done went out to Long Island, far out in Long Island, and he said he don't know when he's coming back. I've been having to deal with training with him on FaceTime.
Do you think a lot of the trainers have been doing FaceTime and Zoom classes? Do you think that's just for
Yeah.
this quarantine, or do you think after this is over, people are going to stick to that?
It's gonna be it's a lot of it's gonna be during the quarantine, but when once this is over, people still gonna do it more so than they were doing it in the past. Yeah, yeah, they're gonna do it more so than they were doing it in the past. And what's gonna be a good thing is that right now, I've picked up a couple clients that don't even live in New York.
Yeah, because now that you're
You know what I'm
training
saying?
online,
I got people in Michigan. They hit me up, and they got the bag in their house. I got people all the way in the UK. You understand? They hit me up, and they got their workout equipment, and we just doing it on Zoom. And then I got my people that I'm doing it on FaceTime with.
I mean,
Hello?
I don't know. I was letting you finish. I mean, it definitely sounds like this is, our industry's changing, and you're definitely
Yeah,
in the forefront of the change, both with the Zoom classes and of course with the brand new gym that you have. Um,
yeah.
but do you think that some of these other gyms are going to go out of business? I mean, do you think that some of these other trainers are going to be like, I mean, when the clients start contracting, I mean, where do you think the next 6 months to a year is going to be like in the New York City boxing scene as far as the
A
trainers?
couple, a couple gyms gonna go out of business because the new South is gonna shut them down. The new Southbox is by Eric Kelly. The new Southbox is next level. The new Southbox is the next level.
Yeah.
The new Southbox. And you know what? I'm not even here trying to brag and boast. I'm real confident in my brand, and I know my brand is going to succeed because we did all the work, we did all the groundwork, we got the history, we got the fighters, and we're good to our members. We're
And
good
the
to
new
our
gym is
trainers,
beautiful.
and we got a beautiful gym. Like where I'm at. The demographic is different from the demographic downtown Manhattan, Brooklyn, and gyms like Mendez or Work Train Fight or Trinity. You know what I'm saying? Even Gleason, the demographic is way different in my gym. You understand? My gym is 90% fighters, 99% fighters. But at the same time, it looks pretty like a gym downtown.
No, it looks pretty, and then the sparring in the ring is frightening
But it's
sometimes.
because it's real,
It's real.
and it's authentic fighters. So now you got the best of both worlds. Because to be honest with you, the killers in my gym, the members, they couldn't afford those gyms downtown. $200 a session. You know what I'm saying? Couple $100 a month. They couldn't afford those gyms downtown. No, they can't afford that. Those gyms downtown, you know what? Like boxing gyms are that save kids from the streets in New York. I'm one of them. Back in the 80s and the 90s, growing up, these streets were vicious. These boxing gyms saved us from that, and they gave us a place to go and a place to believe in ourselves, work out, train. You know what I'm saying? It opened our eyes and gave us goals. Fast forward to 2020, that's not the same. These gyms charging a couple $100 for a session, a couple $100 a month. And they got all kinds of fancy celebrities and models and Wall Street execs in their gyms. But where the kids? You don't see none of the kids. You see more white collar shows than you see shows for the kids. You got you know what I'm saying? Like what is he doing?
Well, you were about to say Haymakers for Hope. Now that's the big event that.
But that's a charity. That's a charity.
That's a charity event that a lot of the trainers do very well at. And will that event even happen this year?
A lot of I don't know. I don't know if it will, because Haymakers Hope is Haymakers. They start training in the summertime because the event is in like October. You know what I'm saying? So the guys they start training in like July. You know what I'm saying? August, September, October. That's when they training for the show. I don't know what's gonna happen. But Haymakers for Hope is a charity, so that's a different entity. You understand what I'm saying? But these other boxing gyms I'm talking about, they turned their back on the youth. They turned their back on the kids. Boxing gyms in New York City turned their back on the kids. Where they gonna go? Don't get me wrong, you got Atlas Cops and kids doing their thing. I know Work Train Fight has a program also. You got Southbox. But these other gyms, most of these other gyms, I can only name 3. I could barely name 4. The boxing gyms in New York City, they turned their back on the youth. They turned their back on the community. Think about it. Where are these kids going now? And the trainers want to get paid. He got bills to pay. And you know what? He deserves it. You know what I'm saying? Trainers want. These kids can't afford no $400 a month for a trainer plus $100 for the gym. That's $500 a month. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They can't go Rumble gyms like Rumble, Dog Pound, Chatterbox. But what are they doing for the youth? You know how much a session is there?
It's like $40 for like a 45-minute class.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? What are they doing for the youth? What are they doing for the community? COVID-19 is gonna force people to get their act together. Now you gotta sit down and you gotta have a long conversation with yourself and you gotta think, because you gotta fix this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, from a gym standpoint, and while the classes themselves are kind of goofy, Rumble seems like it might be one of the only gyms that makes it, just because it's a grid of bags and it's very clean and sanitized, and it can be spaced out, whereas some of the other gyms we mentioned, you know, people are just on top of each other and there's no ventilation.
But I've never stepped foot in the Rumble in my life. I never stepped foot in the Dog Pound in my life. I never stepped foot in it. I never put a toe in that motherfucker. I never grabbed the handle to the door.
Oh, God.
I never grabbed the knob to the door. So I don't know what they offer and what they're doing. I know what they don't offer. Nothing for the kids, nothing for the community.
Well,
what they're doing for the community.
From what you're talking about, nothing. But
what gyms turning their backs on the kids? Like I said, props to Work Train Fight. They doing their thing. Atlas Cops and kids doing their thing.
Gleason's has their things. Southbox definitely has their things.
Give a kid a dream. Give a kid a dream. You understand what I'm saying? Give a kid a dream, Gleason. That's only 4 gyms.
Now, you were talking about boxing coming back. Now, it looks like the Ringmasters and all the USA boxing stuff is going to be put off for the rest of the year.
Yes.
Professional boxing looks like it's going to try to come back next month with fights in front of no people. What do you think about that?
That was greed. That's the Eddie Hearn behind that shit, right?
No, this is a Top Rank event.
It's a Top Rank event.
And
Same shit. Same thing.
if Top Rank pulls it off, Eddie Hearn apparently is building a
Yeah.
ridiculous arena in front of one of his houses, and Top
Yeah,
Rank is looking
yeah,
to
I
do
heard
them in an empty casino venue, and PBC is looking for their own venues. So I mean, it looks
That's
like the
great.
three big promotions are going to look to fill up their TV dates.
That's great. You got the NBA players testing positive. You know what I'm saying? The NBA players ain't interacting with the fans. They're more than 6 feet away from the fans. You understand what I'm saying? The boxers, you got the boxers, you got the fans. Or what they gonna do without fans, right? But boy, you got the boxers, you got the staff and everything. So I don't see how are they gonna test everyone?
Well, the UFC just did it.
Can't you have symptoms? Yeah, can but now you got to be tested and get your results back.
Well,
So we don't know what the results are.
the way the UFC did it was they got their hands on like 1,200 of those rapid tests. Everybody that showed up fight week got tested. Two or three people actually tested as they came in, and they sequestered them immediately. Everyone was then tested again before the weigh-ins and then before the fights. And it was, like I said, it was just a small little community. And then, but it was surreal when they had these fights in front of no people, because you could hear the fighters could hear the commentators, you could hear the other corners, like in ways you never could before.
Yeah, because you don't got the fans in there. You know what I'm saying? You don't got the fans in there. But yeah, honestly,
So you just see it as green.
As a fighter, oh yeah, it's big time green. But as a fighter, you want to know something? As a fighter, you get a whole lot of energy from the crowd, from the fans listening to that. You understand what I'm saying? That picks you up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That puts you in good spirit. You know what I'm saying? So when you get that energy, when that energy is not there no more, whether you get or the fighters are going to be half of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because people feed from the audience. You know what I'm saying? They feed from the audience. Those boos get to you just like those cheers do. You understand what I'm saying? And then you hear people in the audience. You hear certain voices in the audience that are familiar to you, calling out things that you should try to do. You understand what I'm saying? So with that not being around no more, I don't know, man. I don't know. Not saying it's not going to be around no more, but it won't be around in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and they can't make any of the really big fights without the ticket sales. So we're going to be looking at we'll be looking at somewhere the middle tier fights, but they really can't be putting anything big together right now.
You can't be putting nothing big on.
So they'll be just kind of whetting our appetite to try to keep everybody interested.
Me and you might as well fight.
Well, the fight we all want to see actually is Eric Kelly versus Curtis Jones.
Oh, I'm not Curtis out. That's my son.
Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you very much for saying that on the air today. I really appreciate you saying that one.
Yeah. Curtis Breakfast. That's my brother, though. My little brother, Breakfast.
He's great. He's our co-host on most of these shows. Well, I just wanted to finish up today. So your feeling is, are you when things open up, do you think is this going to be a slow kind of thing, or is this going to be like after New Year's and everyone's just going to rush back in the gyms?
It's going to be slow.
And even for
but I think after New Year's, I do think after New Year's, everyone's going to rush back to the gym, because if it opens up in June, July, New Year's is still a ways away. You got 6 months. You understand what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is, it's like you've got people. Like, I understand the normal people out there who might be shy about coming in there, but I mean, when we go to these boxing gyms, 80% of the people that we see there day in and day out are the same people. They're the regulars. Do you think a lot of them are going to also be slow to come back, or do you think they're just going to be coming back day one? The gym rats.
The regulars are going to come back. The gym rats are going to come back. It's the people that aren't members. It's the people that want to try something new, so they say, "Yeah, I'm going to start boxing." Is those people that aren't gonna be reliable, but the gym rats are going to be there.
So the blood and guts who pretty much pay for these gyms are going to stick around. It's a lot of the people, according to you, that the people who come in once or twice, hit the bag, take one shot from to the head or something, and they never come back again.
They're gone.
They're the ones that aren't going to come back.
They're gone. They're gone. So the blood and guts people keep you afloat. The blood and guts people keep the bills paid.
But they're not going to be.
The
You're
people
not
that
going to be
come,
getting the big money that you were getting from all the white collar
no,
people who.
because those guys for the profit. Once your bills paid, you got a profit. That's what you want to do. The blood and guts pays the bills. The profit is not coming back no time soon.
Well, Eric, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today about some of these issues, and I look forward to speaking with you again.
In the next interview, I'm charging you
I will.
$100 an interview. You can like think about it. You come here asking me all these questions.
I'll pay you $200
about my genius and expertise. Why not? Fuck it. Yeah, I got 5 kids. I'll take the 2.
Eric Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Southbox Gym, the next to Southbox Gym, the best gym in the world. Get your Eric Kelly on.
Get your Eric Kelly on. Thanks a lot.